Let's start talking about how to make yourself more productive with buyers. On this new agent area, we go to the drop down over here and we select the buyer activity link here. And on the buyer activity link, you'll see that we have a number of columns going on here that you work and you begin to progress into an active buyer. But here you'll see that we have viewed the listing 3 to 6 times, viewed the listing 7 to 9 times, and viewed the listing 10 times or more. And clearly when the buyer keeps on viewing, it'll just keep on moving across the screen. And the best way to deal with this is to just stay on top of the buyers, and as you work these buyers in the 3 to 6 column, and you start working them, they will come back and view the listing and they will automatically move into the 7 to 9 and the 10. And then if they're a hot buyer, you just simply move them over and put them into the hot buyer activity. Okay? So let's start out with how you should work through this system. I'm going to select one of these. I'm going to select this Oscar Vasquez individual. I'm going to open up the file. And I just want to sort of peruse him and see where he's from and whether or not he's put how much money he's got. He's got plenty of cash. I want to see that he did sign my NDA for this particular restaurant. Cafe Brazil is the one I'm interested in. Looks like he did. So then I can X out of that. And now I'm going to send him an email. And I'm going to put in the name of the restaurant in here. And then I've got a canned email response because you're going to do this in mass quantity. And here I sort of tease this particular buyer with more information. And it says, do you have an interest in Cafe Brazil? So I say, dear Oscar. And I just copied that message there. Do you have an interest in Cafe Brazil? It has good financials, and all it takes is a slight change of to the name, and all else stays the same. Menu, food, employees, colors, look and feel. If you'd like to see financials, let me know. So I sort of stuck a teaser in on that one to see whether or not he will get back to me. Then what I would do is I will email it to him. Then what I would do is I would write a note to the seller saying, Oscar has shown an interest and I just sent him an email to determine his level of interest. And I would want that seller to get this particular message, and then the system will keep track of this contact that I made with the buyer. And you can see the note comes down here with the buyer. So here's the email I sent to Oscar. Here's the note that I sent to our client. Also on this screen, if Oscar had sent you any documents, you can upload a document that will stay connected to Oscar. You can send an email. You can add an activity. In other words, if you wanted to set up an activity, say call Oscar, follow up on my email. I want to get it 5 minutes before, and I want to get it tomorrow at noon. Let's put 11 a.m. Okay, so tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'll get an email alert that tells me to follow up with Oscar. Then I would go back, and with Oscar I'm going to delete the tile that I have here for Oscar, because it's done. Now if Oscar comes back, his tile will move over here, or Oscar will send me an email and I will turn Oscar into a hot buyer. Here's another Cafe Brazil, Weston Shu, whatever that person's name is. Again, I'm going to peruse his information. Lots of money. Did he sign the NDA? Cafe Brazil, signed the NDA. Then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to send him an email. Put Cafe Brazil. And I'm going to say, dear Weston. Weston. And I'm going to put a standard English there. I'm going to send it. And then I'm going to take a note here for my client to say that Weston has shown an interest, and I just reached out to him to determine his level of interest. Boom, and save it again. And again, I just work with Weston. You know, obviously you can do what you like. Oops. You can do what you like with it. Back to the buyer activity. And with Western individual, I'm going to X that out as well. Then I've got, let's see, BLK, this particular one, BLK Spirits. Look at this person. Did he sign the NDA? This is a confidential listing, so I will not give the name of the restaurant in it, but I did make a special little note for that listing that I'm going to send to the seller. Oops. Sometimes it's a little slow. Dear C-H-I-K-E, Chike. And this is Ocean View Restaurant in Orange County. And I'm just going to send it to this person. I'm going to take a quick note. C-H-I-G has shown an interest, and I just emailed him. See my frustration in my voice there, huh? And I will send that there, and I'll set up an activity, follow up with Jike. And the system will send me an email 5 minutes before. I'm going to do it tomorrow, and I'm going to do it at 11 a.m. as well. Okay? So the system will send me an email. I go back here, and I will delete Chike. Where is he? Chike. So I've done him. Okay. That's basically how this system works. You can drag it down to a longer time period of frame, but the whole idea is for you to work this 3 to 6 times, people who have viewed it 3 to 6 times, and as you begin to work them, they will move into the 7 to 9 times as you see them, and then we can make them an active buyer. And how do we make them an active buyer? I'm going to stick a function in here that you'll see pop up that will be able to create an active buyer from this screen. But you can create an active buyer by copying him right here, boom, finding him here, add to active buyers. I want to put him on that listing number was 5128. He's an active buyer in 5128. Let me go back to my buyer activity. And then you'll see that this John guy has been made an active buyer, and if you're not active, boom, you can exit out. An active buyer would be defined with somebody who you have a conversation with, and they are involved in the interest and process of looking closely at that restaurant. So it's in process, they're active, they haven't said no yet. I think that is all that I have on the buyer activity screen, but this will keep you very focused on the buyers and your listings. Now you can see I'm a little bit behind here with my listings. Thank you very much for taking the time.